I truly believe that when you have a period where you're feeling healthy and you're slammed with sickness or even breaking a bone, if there's any stage in your life where you're abruptly asked to stop, I know that that's Spirit's way of saying, hey, there's something I need you to process that you're not giving yourself space to process. Hello. Welcome back to another video. Welcome if you are new. If this is the first time seeing my face, welcome. I'm so excited you are here. Welcome back if you've been to my channel. If you have seen my face before, I am glad that you're back to sit with me, to process with me, to be with me today. It's been a while. I have to say April's been an extremely challenging month for me. I started this month getting a very bad flu. I was down for almost 2 weeks. As you can probably hear in my voice, it's still a little rough around the edges. I'm still got that lingering cough, a little bit of that fatigue, just coming back into my body after going through a long period of being sick. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. On top of being sick for 2 weeks, been resting a lot, processing so very much. I was extremely emotional, was crying a lot during, the few weeks I was in bed, just processing so much out of my body and out of my mental spaces, my physical spaces, my emotional spaces were definitely shooken up. So it was challenging to have that period. When we're sick, it always kind of grounds this level of vulnerability in me where I'm sick. I have to lay there. I have to process. I have to rest. Which someone for me, I love being in control. I like, physically working out. I like taking action. There's just so much you can't do when you're in stages of deep sickness or, when you're really having to slow down in life. It's hard to pump the brakes and lay in bed and rest your body and feed your body nourishing foods and do the things that are going to get me better, that are going to make me feel better. So yeah, it was really rough for me to not only move through feeling sick, because nobody likes to be sick. I know you probably don't like to be sick. Just feeling that discomfort and runny nose, soreness in the body, coughing. It's just this deep needing to rest and purge and process. So I definitely feel like Spirit was really asking me to slow down in a real deep way, asking me to pump the brakes a little bit and rest. I truly believe that when you have a period where you're feeling healthy and you're slammed with sickness or even breaking a bone, if there's any stage in your life where you're abruptly asked to stop, I know that that's Spirit's way of saying, hey, there's something I need you to process that you're not giving yourself space to process. Do I think every time we get sick that this is the reason? No, but I can tell you that for me, being sick for these 2 weeks in its severity, I was sick. I mean, I had the worst coughing fits where I would almost get sick or gag. It was really bad. I was needing to deeply rest and process so very much. On top of being sick, processing everything that I've been processing, I started to feel good. So I started to move my body again and exercise. And I remember vividly, like a few days ago, like doing this really connected workout. It felt so good. And then right after my workout, I got an intercostal muscle strain in my right lower ribs. So I had to slow down again. This was just a few days ago. Sometimes you can get strains in the lower rib area if you have done a lot of violent coughing or, done any like strainful movements that involve the constriction of the abdominal or lower abdominal rib cage muscle areas. So these strains or pulls to our lower muscles that intertwine with our, rib cage structure. One of the biggest causes of that is like coughing and over coughing. And like I said, my coughing was so insanely intense. And so I just felt so defeated. I love moving my body. It's how I process so much of, energy that's compacted in my body. It's how I process through my mind. It's just how I process. And one of the biggest ways of how I process through movement is the Tracy Anderson method. I want to do a video about her method and how it's helped me over the last 14 years. I've been doing her method for a very long time. It's not just a workout, it's a somatic, connective, beautiful practice that I've been doing. And so I think I might do a little video about that. That's not exactly what I want to do in this video, but I just felt, like I'm really being asked to stop and take a breath and rest and not be in a state of masculine action or movement. I really feel like God is asking me to step further into my inward processing and grounding, and not so much of this like outer masculine movement outside of my body. I feel like there's something I'm needing to process through, clearly, especially with how sick I got and how emotional. I mean, I was crying every day. I was just moving through a lot of emotions. Maybe working out wasn't helping me process, right? We have to realize that different emotions, different anxieties, depressions, it asks for different ways of processing too. Some of it's journaling, some of it's somatic work, some of it's movement, some of it's meditation, some of it's sitting in nature. These are just practices that are asking me to, let's move differently with this kind of letting go process, right? And so not only was it very emotional, but it's a feeling of, I know you feel stuck, because I do. My sister is going through her process of, her diagnosis, like I've talked in other videos, and she's on, paid leave right now, and we don't really know the status of how we're both going to move forward with everything. So I'm struggling to get my bearings with it. How am I moving forward? How am I going to contribute? All of these things are surfacing, and I'm wanting to take these really outward masculine action, but I'm moving in an old way, okay? I think this is what I'm trying to overcome and process right now. It's wanting to take action in these old ways. Like I'm wanting to reach for going back into grocery, getting a menial job, like moving in these lower ways that I used to, grasping for any sort of pay, anything to keep me safe in my life, in my external world. But I believe when we're asked to really stop and process and go inward, I'm being asked to start something different, to move differently, to step in a new phase of my life in a different way. This is hard because I'm used to moving in a certain way. And God's like, you're changing. You're different. How are we going to move differently now? How are we going to move with more clarity, with more trust in myself and the divine and how I'm moving in this new way of being, right? So I'm like, but I need a job and I need money and I need this security. I need this this stability that I'm really searching for right now. And I'm getting nothing but closed doors. I'm applying for grocery jobs. They're not hiring. It's just, and we all know how this industry is right now. It's really rough to find work and all this sort of stuff. And so I'm finding that I'm not getting an open door. And so I'm like, okay, this avenue isn't for me anymore. How am I going to move differently? And this is where it begins. How am I going to think differently about where I'm at? Okay? Just stay with me, okay? The way I used to process moving forward was a lot of kind of knee-jerk masculine action, grasping for anything in my immediate, area to get what I needed, to get my needs met, right? With that comes abandoning parts of yourself and maybe more grounded parts of yourself that want to come forward. Like maybe God's asking me to reroute, to, go about this in a different way, to feel more grounded in my body and open myself up to receive the clarity, to receive the direction. I can't receive direction from an internal grounded space if I'm in a state of frantic masculine action to find answers, and it's in a frantic feared state and there's no clarity if I can't sit, process, ground myself and hear the clarity that's wanting to come forward, right? If I'm always in that state of frantic action and fear, there's no clear path and there's no clarity that can come forward in that energy. In order for me to see clarity, I've got to go inward. I've got to sit still. I have to look at where I'm resisting what wants to come in. So instead of feeling defeated because doors aren't opening for me, I don't have the clarity, because all of this is happening, I've had to reroute the emotional pull that I pull forward. I could go in that state of, this sucks, what am I gonna do now? I don't know what to do, and I can either let fear engulf me, or I can see it as, that's not for me, and I'm gonna open up my energy even wider. I'm gonna live in that state of gratitude that that's not the path God wants to take for me, that He doesn't want me to go down that space, and we're not gonna take that route. That I'm gonna go down a different path of gratitude. Can I accept being where I am even deeper? Can I accept that those doors aren't opening? Is it okay that they're not opening? Can I give myself more grace and space, right? I remember telling my sister, oh, this door didn't open, or, I didn't get a call back. And she's like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. It's just, to see her react and not, what are we going to do now? Her energy's so much more open. And so it made me feel like, oh, okay, I don't have to be fearful about this door not opening, and there's something else for me. And allowing myself to live in the flow of what's coming and going in my life right now. We're in such immense change and evolution, and there's just so much uncertainty, but as long as you're certain in your own mind and your own energy and your own self, I can allow clarity to come. I can allow that stability to come in the route and path that it's meant to enter my life, instead of pushing and forcing through fear and, oh, what's gonna happen, and that frantic energy, I can sit still knowing that that door just isn't for me, and just to sit with more compassion with myself, with more inward expansion, and just that seat of gratitude for where I'm at and everything that I have now, but still reaching for that action of the path that I do want to move forward in, and that I do want in my future and in my life moving forward. So with that being said, I'm in this space. I'm in this space of gratitude, of waiting, of feeling out where my potentials are. Where is my energy being pulled? That was the other thing. Like, I am a manifesting generator. I have to let things come to me so that I can feel if it's a yes or no, to feel if that's the right path for me. And this doesn't mean like non-action. I'm sitting around, I'm waiting for people to come to me. I'm waiting for, it could be people, it could be situations, emails, calls, but it also is an internal nudge to move in a certain way. That happened to me very much when I moved to Maui and had my beautiful experience living in Maui for almost 2 years. I had an internal nudge to reach out to my friend Brandon, who's been there for like 9 years. And I was like, how did you move to Maui? Like, talk to me about it. And so it turned into this purebred path of moving to Maui. It manifested with me taking action, but it also manifested beautifully and openly without feeling forced, without there being this forced action and push for me to make it happen. Because it almost didn't, but the path opened up and it worked out beautifully, and it was an incredible experience to be on that island, and the ways that I was giving back and enjoying myself and being on the beach and just having that be a part of my path in my existence on earth right now. It was like an incredible experience. But I was nudged. And so I'm finding that I'm between cycles, and maybe you're feeling that way too, that you're kind of between this old life dying and this new life wanting to birth itself, right? You're in this in between. So I ask that if you're in this path and you're in this in between and you're kind of like, well, I don't know what to do, I ask that you just sit with more depth and more groundedness in your being. Sit still more. If journaling feels adequate and alignment for how you're going to get answers, do that. Go for walks and just sit with deeper gratitude for where you are, but still hold that vision for where you want to be, okay? This is a bit of a shorter message. I just wanted to come on. I know it's been a while I haven't posted. I was super duper sick. I'm feeling a lot better, so more videos to come. I'm still doing my part series about my path, so please hold tight for that. That is coming. If my path with the Tracy Anderson method feels curious to you and you want to know more about that, please comment. Please let me know if any of these things feel in alignment with you and you want me to elaborate on anything. I am more than happy to do that. So thank you guys so much for being on this path with me and watching till the end of this video. It makes me just so happy to be on this channel and to be here with you and to give you the guidance. I hope that this channel leads you. Thank you so much. I will see you on another video very soon. Bye.